Pablo Escobar, the Colombian drug baron. Pablo Escobar, also known as the Teacher, was born in 1949. He is a Colombian drug dealer who entered in an attempt to impose his control on the drug market. He made a huge fortune from this trade, which made him pursued by many security and intelligence services in the world, until the authorities killed him. Colombia in 1993. Plata o Plombo, which means, take the bribe or you will die with a bullet. He built his empire on corruption and violence that led to the deaths of more than 10,000 victims, including police officers, judges, civil servants and journalists, as well as assassinations. Minister of Justice and the country's presidential candidate in 1989, Luis Carlos Galán. Birth and upbringing. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born on December 1, 1949 in the Colombian city of Rio Negro, to a farming father named Abel de Jesus Dari Escobar, and a mother who was engaged in teaching, Hamilda Gaviria. Pablo. In 1976 he married Maria Victoria Henao and had a son, Juan Pablo Escobar, and a daughter, Manuela Escobar. Drug smuggler Pablo Escobar and his wife, Maria Victoria, in 1983. Getty Images. Underworld. He dreamed of wealth since his childhood, and therefore he dropped out of education in adolescence due to the deteriorating financial situation in which his family of 9 members lived, to be caught in the streets of the city of Rio Negro, where he began his first steps in the world of crime by stealing tombstones and violence for the sake of plunder. When he reached the age of 22, specifically in 1971, he joined the gang of the dangerous Colombian criminal, Oscar Bernal Aguero, who involved him in the crimes of forgery and selling betting game cards, stealing luxury cars and selling smuggled cigarettes, in addition to daily fraud in the streets of Medellin. His strong physique and criminal practices made him a popular commodity that gang leaders tried to entice to work for themselves, such as the Alvaro Briado gang, and in 1972 he managed to kidnap an influential figure in the city of Medellin and then released her in exchange for a ransom paid by her family, estimated at $100,000, which is the amount that allowed him to develop his influence in the world of crime and drug trafficking. Control of the drug trade. In the mid-70s of the 20th century, Escobar dominated the drug trade in Medellin, Colombia, surrounded himself with hundreds of loyal friends and relatives with precedents, and called his gang the name, Sicarios. Escobar took advantage of the geographical nature of Colombia, which covers 2/3 of its area with forests, for the benefit of his activities, as he forced the peasants to change their activities related to the narcotic coca plant from cultivation to agriculture and manufacturing by concentrating dozens of secret random laboratories, in which they convert the plant into cocaine dough. With the assistance of experts in chemical laboratories. With the prosperity of his trade, Pablo Escobar developed the means of transporting drugs to the United States, which he considered an ideal market for cocaine, by using planes from Colombia to Panama, and from there to American states such as California and South Florida. His planes carried the equivalent of 11 tons of drugs per flight, which prompted him once again to develop distribution routes and logistical capabilities appropriate to the prosperity of his activities. In the mid-1980s, he supervised the manufacture of 2 remotely piloted submarines to deliver shipments. The Medellin gang and its leader, Escobar, now control many drug trafficking and distribution routes in the United States, Spain, Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Puerto Rico and other countries in Europe, and there are reports of his network reaching Asia as well. Confront the state. In 1975, upon his return from Ecuador, he was arrested with a group of his men in possession of 39 pounds of cocaine, and with the failure of his numerous attempts to bribe the judges to acquit him of the charges brought against him, he commissioned his arms to assassinate the two policemen who arrested him, and thus the charges against him fell. He managed to leave prison. In 1982, he was elected to the House of Representatives in the Colombian parliament and belonged for a short time to the Liberal Party in Colombia, thus enabling him to visit the United States of America with his diplomatic passport. He also represented his country at the coronation ceremony of Felipe González as Prime Minister of Spain.